Yo, what is good? My anime faithful, what is good, yo? So, we have two very interesting animes that dropped. One was a complete and utter troll on one part, so I wasted some time watching that. But, straight into this Vinland Saga. I'm gonna call it Viking Saga, like or Viking Land. Like this, my God, man! Like this show looks and feels so like developed and just amazing to full on watch. I am absolutely blown away that we got 3 episodes back to back. But to be fair, I think I have an understanding as to why they did this, and more or less it's just me guessing at this point. I'm not fully sure or anything. I'm guessing more information might come out later on. But for some reason we get 3 episodes just in a day, and I think this is also what people were complaining about in the comment sections that I was reading is because we got all these episodes, we're gonna have to wait much longer for the next episode because of it. So maybe something is going to happen, like holiday wise, or something was going to come up, and they just wanted to make sure they got all this out. But another reason why I really enjoyed it and kind of had a feeling that this was happening was simply because all of the trailers and all of the things that we have seen up till now really didn't give us any um, of this information that we're seeing, on the screen today or throughout these 3 episodes. It feels like whatever they were supposed to show us, right? They were supposed to show us all this stuff that's going to pop off pretty soon in the future of this show. And, the Thorfinn is going to grow up to be pretty much a monster. So, what does this mean for us to start in this general time instead of starting, where the trailers have all been like leading us up to and just trying to show us? It gives me the feeling that we already know a little bit much about the show already, in the case of we know a lot that's already going to transpire just simply from what we've seen. We see a kid who goes from being this wide-eyed, happy, hopeful kid to someone who's just like sunken over, looking in depression all the time, like angry and looking like he is out for revenge on something. So it's these types of things that the trailers have already portrayed that then getting into the first 3 episodes has nothing of the sort, of that type of stuff happening. So you're kind of like, oh, so when does this start? And I think that's another good reason why these 3 episodes have came out as a whole together, because now you kind of just have to accept it as is. You kind of just take it all in strides when when they show you this, and then you're like, oh, okay, like clearly this is just setting us up to understand why this kid is either, alone or whatever's happened to him, why he's in that position. And to find out that his father, Thor, is just this ridiculous tank of a warrior, just absolutely nasty with his skills, it made a whole lot of sense why somebody would go out of their way to try to recruit them after even 15 years of breaking a law within their own community, that the king himself, who, supposedly is the one who withholds these laws and makes people follow through with them, is the same person reaching out trying to get this man to help, or at least sending out a warship or something in order to have him, command it, not just be a part of it. He wants you to be the commander of a warship and play a big part in the next fight. So that's pretty much how the first and second episode kind of gets summed up. We just learn the first episode, we just learned who Thor really is, and we see just his prowess on the battlefield and why he is such a prominent person to be, following in the beginning of the story. And then not only that, his son that's then created, seeing how he got a daughter first, and straight up was about to leave the room, and he's like, honey, make sure you get me a son next time. Thank you." Like that was pretty much it. Like he didn't want to name her, he didn't want to be in the room with her anymore. He just wanted a son sooner than later, and get that done, and we'll talk. Cause he's like, we need a leader. We need someone who's gonna be fighting on the battlefield. And I guess that's where he sees, a son of his own playing a big role in. And that also came from the need of doing it for someone else other than himself. He wasn't necessarily creating this family for himself at this point in time. He was creating this family just so the king, so the leader of everybody could be getting more and more recruitments from some of his more stronger soldiers that he can rely on to, probably have some of the most powerful, if not the most powerful child, if he's as strong as he is, and then to think that he could breed someone even stronger, maybe, was definitely on his mind. And then to see that his wife, Helga, is actually like, she don't take no mess either. It's the perfect combination for a super ridiculously talented kid. And I mean, he even sneaks aboard this week and, practically gets his butt handed to him literally by his father for doing such. And uh, with a little bit of information that we had of them going out supposedly, so a warship washes up and pretty much forces Thor to say, like, you're fighting, or if you don't fight, I can literally just have all my people that are already off the boat, off the ship, destroy everybody. Like, what's your choice? And his choice was to fight. And because he says all of that stuff right in front of the villagers, they also have, the hearing. They're like, oh well, if Thor's fighting, we're all fighting. Like we're not gonna leave one of our own, including the person who's like the head of the village, to go and fight a whole entire war with people that he hasn't even been living with for 15 years. So he takes all as many people as he could, and take it like this: the people who are supposed to assassinate him are absolutely shocked at him only having like 15 to, like, no, I think it was like 12 or something. Yeah, like 12 different people on his side. He's showing up, and he literally is gonna get assassinated supposedly. And the first thing they see is this guy hop on their boat after seeing how low a like troop he has, and he just bodies everybody with only his fist. And that's where episode 3 ends, killing me, absolutely killing me. But the build up, the storytelling, the overall growth of this boy who really just is a little bit too smart for his own good. Like, he can see someone trying to hide, some type of factual thing from him. Like, he doesn't appreciate being, uh, you know, hid from the world, or hid from the truth at least. And I think now that he's on this boat, now that he's seeing just what his father is capable of. I mean, he's not going to see it up close right now. He's seeing it from like a different, from a ship, watching it from afar. But still, you get the gist of just how ridiculously powerful your dad is when it comes down to, he told you to only use this weapon to protect yourself. He didn't say, hey, pull out this weapon and start helping me hacking away at anything you see. He said, if you get in trouble, this is the only time you get to use this weapon. And that's also saying a lot without saying much. Like, he jumped over to go and fight, but he hasn't pulled out his weapon. So I don't know. This show really, really hit me. I mean, getting 3 episodes back to back is not even fair for some other shows that, started there. They're like, oh, okay, let's start it out. Here's your episode 1. This is the world, and this is how crazy it is. Like, no, these guys started it off with, okay, here's 3 episodes. We're building this ginormous world, and it has 24 episodes. So these 3 episodes ain't going to be nothing, because we're going to take a break for at least a week. So that I don't think we're gonna get any episodes next week, or maybe a week after that as well. But regardless of that, we got so much information to sit on that we should be good. I mean, some people are only gonna watch it one episode at a time. I didn't want to do that because I feel like because it's all there, why wouldn't I, clean up on it, watch it all, and then get as much of an understanding to be excited and give you guys all the information to be excited about it, So regardless of what other people are going to do, this is how I'm doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys definitely give this show a watch. I mean, if you really want to watch it one episode at a time, that's definitely on you. I apologize if I spoiled anything for you and you didn't want to know stuff that was happening in episode 3, because you're going to wait and watch it one by one at your own pace. I apologize, but this, I'll have it in the title, like that I'm talking about full on episode 1 through 3 uh review, like I'm not going to just be like episode 1 was good and then it's this, so don't sweat it. I really do hope you guys enjoy though. We are looking at quite a interesting animation style. Like for instance, this anime has 3D in it. Like, I hate 3D, guys. I hate it. It just does not appeal to me. And that's why I probably still will never watch the Godzilla anime. Like, it's just not for me, like that animation style. So, to see this have that animation style and do it in, very small portions, like portions where it's mostly the boats, like it feels like boats are really hard to animate on top of having some guy jumping, from boat to boat, or just a guy going through a whole bunch of people and then having the boat look perfectly fine, So it made sense where the use of it was, but it wasn't nearly all of the show, So that's what really actually had me happy to see that I didn't have to just continuously look at it like that. And um, if animes do this to save some money and still can put out like twop, I just turned into a New Yorker for a second. I was gonna say twop notch, just top tier animation and top tier, uh, fights and stuff with that said animation, I'm good. But then when it comes down to them, using it in parts that is just to push forward their narrative and to force the fighter to get to one area to the next and make it look as good as they can without using, a very low quality version of graphics, like some people were calling out on other shows that came out recently that didn't have any 3D in it, but because of that, they had to suffer with their running animation, and people were just like blasting it for it. So there's a lot of critics out there, and for me to be critical on this show, it definitely has a slower progression. Like all this storytelling, all this build up is much slower than a lot of shows that are even out right now. So if you're not into the slow builds where as soon as you're hearing about this and that and then it actually happens, and that's like the overall storytelling, and then something happens, it gets fixed or it's bad, and then it leads into more storytelling. Like everything that happens in this show is happening for a reason at this point. One of my favorite parts too as well is seeing a guy pretty much go up to someone who he knew as a warrior and all that, and he treats them as if they're almost still friends, as if he can't wait to maybe see him on the battlefield again or something along those lines. And then he comes to find out that, this village has changed him. This village has clearly put him in a position where he doesn't want to do the things that he is so accustomed to doing. And because he saw that, he already is calling, and his name is Foki for like Loki, but with an F. um, so to see him kind of, mad and all, it seems like he's pretty jealous as well, because the king went out of his way to give a man who has abandoned, like the one thing you never do as a Viking is abandon the battlefield. This man killed another guy under the water and, killed him with his own sword, And that was another thing that probably drove him to a point of like, wow, like I could take so much life and so easily that this guy had a weapon on him and I disarmed him and used his own weapon against him. Uh, it must not have. I don't know. I honestly don't know if that's something he's going to touch up on. But the real thing that he said, Thor, that really scared him to go back into the battlefield was the fact that he had that firstborn child. He had something that he wanted to come home to, and he thinks that because of that, he's weak, and also his comrades would curse him if they ever found out that that was the true reason he abandoned the battlefield. So that's just the type of people he's dealing with. You know, that's the types of people that he grew up and trained with and fought wars with. And I'm guessing if any of those people found him, you know, and knew about this, it would be a wrap. But from what we understand is the guy who wants him dead, the guy who actually was out sent out to recruit him, is also the one who's setting up this assassination on Thor. And we see that with the boat scene that I was talking about, where they straight up see a village and it has fewer houses than it did. Thor noticed some terrain up above him that was falling, like rocks just falling into the water that shouldn't have been. So that was already a red flag for him to turn the boats around. And mind you, his son's on this boat, so you're attacking a man with, you know, something to lose. That's probably not the best move to make against this guy. So another great anime has dropped right into my lap, and it's 24 episodes. Not to mention it has the Diorio intro, and a lot of people all over there crying about it and stuff. But what you got to remember is that's also Kabaneri, okay? That is Kabaneri Circus we're talking about here, man. All right? Circus had that too. And Circus came out before Diorio, and you guys have no respect. All right, I'm done. But yeah, awesome, awesome episodes. I can't express my feelings any more than that. I mean, the kid is amazing. I can't wait to see, you know, the journey he's actually going to make, seeing how they kind of really have teased that he's going to be alone throughout all of this. And to see that the person who's hunting him is very, very skilled, hunting Thor, is kind of sketch, and it shows that in the previews he's not even gone, like he's still alive. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this anime, and if you watched all 3 episodes. If not, if you watched just one, I would still love to hear what you have to say about the first episode. And if I talked you into watching more episodes, let me know too, because as right now I can't wait to see all 24. And that's just, if that's just me, let me know. But if you're also excited, let me know. All right, everybody. Have an awesome day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. And I am your boy, the Anime G. So I will honestly talk to you very soon with another anime. And I'm not sure if that will be the end of me for today. So with all that being said, I hope to talk to you in the next video. Peace.